and welcome to a demo playthrough of News at 11, a cyclical storytelling game where we will all be delivering the news. Jeff has already found a joke to be telling very soon. So, we'll be passing out these cue cards, 3 of them to each player, and each player is going to look at the 3 that they are dealt and decide which of the blank lines that they would like to fill in. They're things like a blue object or an adjective. You're each going to get 3 cards, but you're only going to fill in 1 blank. So choose wisely. Once you've found the blank that you'd like to fill in, go ahead and just call out the subline to your fellow players, and they will supply an answer for you to write.
A body part I want to judge?
Thighs. Definitely. Thighs.
Thighs.
There you go. Write it down.
No, I'm not taking thighs.
What,
That's
level
too
of-
judgy.
Level of thundering isn't good enough for you?
Oh, level of
Nostrils?
thunder. No.
Pecs.
Pecs?
Earlobes.
I like pecs, that's
a
good.
boob man. Alright.
Pecs, come on.
I'm taking pecs.
I want the earlobes. And your
Spicy food.
Curry.
Pad Thai?
salsa.
Ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper. I like that better.
Ghost pepper.
I need a remedy.
Ooh.
For what?
Advil?
Band-Aid.
Pepto.
What's that? What's
Pepto-Bismol. That's
Yeah.
that? Wart?
product placement.
Oh, we can't go there. Just say pink stuff.
Worms? Oh, pink stuff. That's
We'll
good.
do pink stuff. That sounds good. That could be interpreted as anything. I'm not judging what ails you, but the pink stuff will fix it for you.
I need a famous person.
Madonna.
Chris something.
Oh, any of the Chris's.
That's great.
Any of the
Chris
Chris's.
O'Donnell.
Chris Pine.
Chris Angel.
Chris
my
Pratt.
Every
Chris
Chris is
Hemsworth.
famous.
I need someone to make
Chris
fun
Cross.
of the mooch today, so can we do
Oh,
skirmish?
Mrs. Pine's dad, Ralph Pines, who was Chips's sergeant.
Is that real?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Pine's dad is Ralph Pines.
I thought you said you weren't going to show how old you were today.
Chip
Wait.
and Dale Rescue. Do we come up with
Oh,
someone?
yeah, I'll do Chris Pratt. That sounds good.
How about an ancient weapon?
Wow.
Scimitar.
Very specific. A scimitar. I cannot spell that. Someone else.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Spell it out. Phonetic spelling. Scimitar.
My job.
Everybody knows how to spell this word except for you.
How about a trebuchet?
Better. Yeah. Good.
Can you spell that?
What's the trebuchet?
I officially don't like
Oh,
to spell my
it can launch 300
It's also
kilogram
spelled
projectiles
strangely.
over 90 meters.
Oh.
It's also spelled strangely.
It's a
Finally,
more modern catapult.
I need a flying animal.
Sorry.
Astronaut bunny.
Screw your
Anything Emily is holding. I don't know.
I don't know why that frightened me.
Oh my god. Squirrels fly?
I kind of like astronaut bunny. Sorry.
Yep.
That's a real flying animal.
Yep.
Now that everyone has written down one suggestion on one of their 3 cards, we're just going to toss them all into the center. They're going to be shuffled together, and then each player for the
Even the
first
blank ones,
news.
right?
Yeah, even the blank ones.
All right.
Oh no.
For the first segment, the morning news, each player is going to get 1 card, and on that 1 card is going to be 1 or 2 words if they pick one that's been filled in. And you need to incorporate the words on your cards into your segment. What's your segment, you might be wondering? Well, I will be dealing out a segment card to each player as I call on them. And the segments are things like weather or traffic, you know, general news segments. And you simply need to tell us what's happening with that segment involving the details on your cue card. Is everyone feeling good? Feeling ready? Loosened up, you know?
Fantastic.
All right.
Thing.
Well then, let's start the news. Welcome to the 9 a.m. news. I am Dan Danielson. And first, let's just jump right into the slowest part of the day. We're going over to Skip Kipler. Skip, what can you tell us about the traffic today?
Thanks, Dan. Traffic is crazy. Look, let me tell you, I have got a wife back at home. And she, whenever we start talking about the traffic back at home, she always starts likening it to a muffin. Because traffic is just sweet and fluffy on top, but just dense and thick underneath. And that's what today's traffic is like. If you're driving down the 405, expect a dense foliage of cars that you're just not going to be able to get through. Dan?
Skip, thank you. That is the tastiest way I have had traffic described ever. Speaking of tasty, why don't we cover with Nate Nathanielson? We're going to go over to Nate for food and culture. Nate, what's going on down there?
Well, just so happens that we have a new muffin shop that's opening up.
How convenient.
I know. It's crazy. This is a great business to get into these days.
I'll send my wife there.
All right. She'll probably enjoy it, but wait until the traffic clears.
Somebody gave your wife business.
We're getting a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm so sorry. Nate, do we still have you down at the brand new muffin shop? What's happening at the brand new muffin shop?
That's about it.
A hard-hitting news story, to be sure. So, speaking of hard hits, we're about to go to Just in Time. Justin, what can you tell us about the sports ball event that's happening downtown right now?
Well, Dan Danielson, I'm down here at the local 9-year-old T-ball facility, and these kids really know how to play. If my child was here, I would be so proud of him playing T-ball. But he's not, because I don't have kids.
That's not news to
Back to
anybody.
you, Dan Danielson.
Thank you, Justin. I'm not surprised that you don't have kids, but that was a great way to tell the story of kids. Thanks. Speaking of children, children are beautiful. And speaking of beauty, Seppi, what's the latest in the health and beauty sphere?
Oh, in health and beauty, we have the new Trebuchet bubble treatment.
Trebuchet bubble
Yes,
treatment?
It's fantastic. First, we wrap you up in cellophane, and then we launch you across the room until you say when.
I can't say that sounds safe, but what does it do for you?
It makes you feel straight from Japan.
Japanese trebuchet bubble tape?
The treatment.
Treatment. Excuse me.
Trebuchet bubble treatment.
I really should remember, as they are sponsoring our broadcast, we have a word from our sponsor now, KLMNOP. What do you have for us?
Thanks for that intro, Dan. I really appreciate it. Fantastic name choice. Today, we're sponsored by books. Most of you might not know what that is. It's a paper format of your Kindle. They keep them at this place called
I've never been to 1K, I couldn't tell you.
a library.
Library?
Thank you.
Library.
Libraries. Stop by and avoid the paper cuts. Back to you, Dan.
Paper cuts are a very dangerous thing. Now, Emily has something even more dangerous than paper cuts. With our consumer warning, we've got Millie. Emily, what is dangerous today?
Hi, well, Dan Danielson, thank you.
Of course.
So I am Emily, and I'm actually here today with Nate as well over at the muffin shop. So unfortunately, Nate, I know you're not feeling very good. He tried one of the blueberry muffins, but actually they weren't blueberries, they were bugs. So, so Nate, can you just give us a little bit more information about how you're feeling right now? Well, that was my microphone, so thank you, Dan Danielson. We'll get back to you later.
Of course, why not take a short break after that very forthcoming segment? We'll be back at 4 o'clock. All right, so now to begin the afternoon news portion of the game, we've dealt out 2 cue cards to each player. And so now, looking at both of those cards, you'll have to incorporate all of the words that you see into your upcoming segment. Is everyone feeling good and ready to start off our afternoon segment?
No, but that's fine.
All right, ready or not, here we come. Welcome back, everyone. As always, I am Dan Danielson with the 4 o'clock afternoon news. We have a little interference in studio right now. But that's all right. Speaking of interference, Justin, I know that you are down at the Capitol building right now, and there is a large political rally going on. Tell me what's happening.
Well, Dan, There's some strange things afoot at the Capitol today, let me tell you. The politician, the famous MMA fighter, the judge. His pecs are swollen, he is large and in charge, and he is trying to pass a new amendment allowing astronaut bunnies into space. Now, we'll see if he can get that through Congress or not, but at the end of the day, they're going to have to turn off the lamps and go home. Back to you, Dan.
That sounds like a not dramatic end to a very dramatic day. Speaking of dramatic ends, we have our obituary segment now. Seppi, who's no longer with us?
Oh, I hate to tell you that Chris Pratt is currently being eaten by bugs.
Currently? Right now?
Yeah, well.
Seppi, I understand. I'm just hearing this. You actually have an interview with the EMT who tried to save Chris Pratt from the bugs just a moment ago. What's developing there?
I don't know what he's saying. His face is filled with muffins.
Seppi, thank you so much for interviewing me today. Hello, am I on camera right now?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. My name's Carolyn Carrollton. I'm an EMT. It stands for Extremely Multiple Tattooed Lady who also takes care of the sick. So I was very fortunate to take care of Chris Pratt today.
Up until the end.
Up until the end, I did keep a bug for myself. However, it was quite graphic, and I don't think the viewers want to hear about that. Thanks for having me on today. Hi, Mom.
And now, just to break that up, we have a word from our sponsor.
The word from our sponsor is child car care. This, I'm not joking. They take care of your car. They will wax it. They will wash it. They're cheap. Back to you.
I'm not sure, strictly speaking, that that's legal. But they pay the bills, so who am I to judge? Skip Kipler. Skip Kipler. I forgot about your twin brother Chip. He was temping yesterday.
Well, it's too bad Chip's no longer with us.
The obituary section cut off a bit soon. I'm sorry about that, Skip. Some things just tend to fly by, unlike the traffic. Could you give us the update on what's happening over there?
Of course.
Skip.
Well, this morning it was just like muffins.
Of course.
There's just muffins out there, as my wife would say. It's just don't go out the door, it's muffins. And now it's cakes.
Is that better or worse, Skip? I'm not sure.
Let me ask you a question. What would you rather have, a cake or a muffin?
Oh, it's a cake.
Then muffins are worse. So it's better than right now. It's not really the lunch rush, but look, there was a big morgue week going on downtown where all the morgue workers got out and had a nice march around the courthouse. So that's been stopping traffic if you're heading into the downtown area. Give them a nice honk and a wave for Skip.
They're all concerned about Chris Pines.
Chris Pines. Hold on, we have an update on that earlier story. Seppi, what's happening with Chris Pines?
They're all interchangeable, the Chris's.
Oh.
So since one goes down, you didn't realize they're part of a communal organism.
So how many Chris's are being affected right now?
Reports are bad for Chris Evans.
Oh no.
And Chris Helmsworth as well.
This is a terrible day for Chris's everywhere.
It's true.
Kate, do you have a Chris consumer warning that you can try and warn fellow Chris's about?
I'll do my best, Dan.
Thank you,
very
Kay.
much. Turns out that earlier this afternoon we had a report from the Trebuchet bubble treatment. Turns out that a Chris has fatally died at that as well this afternoon. So please stay away from all Trebuchets. We're also advising that if you see any curious looking pink stuff, you should also not touch it. Do not touch any pink stuff, no matter how much the lady says she'll pay you. But in good news, one of the Chris's has been crowned king. We haven't decided which one yet.
That's very good news for one Chris in a sea of bad news for other Chris's. On an update on the pink stuff in the sky, Emily, what do you have with weather?
Yes. Well, actually, I am here, I decided to come over to what I was told was a library. So I actually went and got a paper, what'd you call it, a paper Kindle, right?
Yes.
So a paper version of Kindle. So I'm actually standing outside with my book, reading. It's quite nice. Did you know that a library is also a business? I know! I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm supposed to be reporting on the weather. The weather! Well, the weather is beautiful as I am sitting out here with my book thinking about what a great day it is. I only wish that I had a muffin.
Don't we all?
It's a great day
Don't
for a
we all?
funeral.
Thank you for tuning into the afternoon news. Go get yourself a muffin, and we'll see you at 11. Hello, and welcome back to the evening news at 11. I'm Dan Danielson. We're going to be checking in on a story we started earlier. There was a T-ball tournament. How did that end up going, Nate?
It went all right. It did.
Just all right?
It did go all right. But that was until the bookmobile arrived. Brakes went out. Unfortunately, it hopped the curb and didn't hit any of the kids. Took out all the parents, though, unfortunately.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, God. Where's the obituary?
How many of them were named Chris?
Well, they were giving out free muffins.
It was a Chris party.
And it happened to be that it wouldn't have mattered if the bookmobile had hopped the curb or not, because it happened to be that they were getting food
Dan,
poisoning
is
from
there
the
any way
muffins.
we can make this broadcast gluten-free? I am tired of it.
Well, unfortunately, Seppi, one of our sponsors is gluten.
No.
So if you could just tell us why we can't remove gluten from our broadcast.
Gluten will get you to the morgue, no matter how much you like cakes. Wash whatever you want. It's not going to change the fact that the ghost peppers don't make good muffins.
Did you eat a
But
muffin?
one industry is booming, Skip. Despite the hard job market, we have the health and beauty update with Skip Kipler. Skip?
Yes. The latest trend in health and beauty is, of course, putting pink stuff all over your face. Putting pink stuff on your face may not make you a king. It may not make you king for a week. It may not make you king for a month, but it will make you king for a day. And isn't that all we're trying to get out of life, ladies and gentlemen, is king of our own kingdom for a day? As my wife would say, get out of the house, honey, you need to make money. Dan, back to you.
Thank you, Skip. So I see that a lot of folks are trying to make money selling muffins. What kind of food vending situation do we have down where you are, Kay?
Please tell me muffins is a euphemism for something.
Isn't it always Seppi? Thanks for that intro, Dan.
Of course.
Turns out that earlier today, due to the giant Chris uprising,
Of course.
People were so fascinated that all the muffin shops decided to partake in it, and now we're seeing trebuchet bubble muffins. That's right. So what they do is they cover the muffins in delicious-looking bubbles, and then they hurl them at your mouth. We're not exactly sure that it's above the law, or that's all above board, but people seem to be enjoying it, which is fantastic. I'll be part of that muffin club, if you know what I mean.
Okay, I think I do know what you mean, but we have breaking news about the legal situation of trebucheting muffins into your mouth. Emily, you're down at the Capitol as an emergency vote was taken in after I'm hearing a number of Chris's have died from trebucheted muffins. What can you tell us, Emily?
Well, what I will tell you is, Dan, yes, down here at the Capitol. So part of the issue is, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I needed, woo, thank goodness we're all better now. So, part of the issue is that all of the Chris's that have been dying today have really exceptional pectoral muscles, not muffins, too many muffins today. Pectoral muscles. So actually, the judge, who you might have heard about earlier,
yes,
trying to decide on something, came out of the building to look at all these different pectoral muscles that are now on display in front of the Capitol. It's a little bit morbid, but what? If you grab a muffin, you see the pectorals, we would like you all to get down here now to check out these pectoral muffins, muscles, before they all go into obscurity. That is all I have for you. That is a breaking news story. I am Emily.
Thank you, Emily. Justin, can you wrap it up for us with the traffic update? It seems like getting down to the Capitol is a bad idea right now.
It's all a bad idea, Dan. That's all I have to say about that. I'll tell you what, it's been a sad day indeed down here at News 11. I was Chris Pratt's biggest fan, and when he died by being eaten by bugs, I had to buy myself a muffin just to cheer up. And so I took all of the kids from the T-ball tournament, rushed them into the car, and started my own child business where they washed cars. Thanks for the hot tip, Nate. That's back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Justin. I'm not sure what it had to do with traffic, but it is the news at 11. Thank you, and good night.